Hello my friends, Soga the Geek here, and for today's review we are going to take a look at the new DC Direct via McFarlane Toys, the Batman Who Laughs Batman from Batman The Adventures Continue lines. So this is a DC Direct release via McFarlane Toys. McFarlane Toys is now going to be releasing DC Direct figures as well as their own figures. What that means is we are getting these sort of unproduced or unmade DC Direct figures that were solicited. So DC Direct did solicit these figures before they closed down. So I don't know how far along they were in production, if they were already made and they've been sitting in a warehouse, or if McFarlane actually went and finished producing them and then used the DC Direct packaging. Not sure. I'd be really curious to know kind of, how far along this was in production and what McFarlane had to do to sort of finish this. But nevertheless, I'm just excited that we are getting new DC Direct figures. I'm really hoping we get even more new figures, stuff that we've never seen before. New lines, new essential figures. That's my dream. I don't know if it's gonna happen, because it probably would make sense for McFarlane just to sort of do the unreleased stuff, maybe do some re-releases. I'm sure it's expensive to try and tool brand new figures and things like that, but I hope they do. I'd be really excited. I know the new those punch figures from McFarlane, those 5-inch figures, are going to be through the DC Direct brand, as I understand it. So, that is a new DC Direct figure. So anyways, super excited to get the Batman Who Laughs in the style from The Adventures Continue. I always say The Adventure Continues, but it's actually The Adventures Continue line. So this is a really great animated take on the Batman Who Laughs. So yeah, without further ado, let's get him out of the package and let's take a look at this guy. Alright, so here's a look at the Batman Who Laughs outside of the packaging. So there's the figure. It also comes with this mallet, this spiky mallet that you see here, which is really cool with the spikes. Also comes with this really dope chain with a spiky ball, and also has a bat logo thing on it, as you can see there, to hold it. So yeah, super cool. I like this thing. It's metal and it's solid. It's a solid piece, and it's gonna look great wrapped around the Batman Who Laughs. So really excited about that. Looks really cool. And then he also comes with 2 extra sets of hands. Very nice. This is a pricier figure. I think it was about $30 on Amazon. So I'm glad it comes with some good accessories and extra hands. And then let's take a look at the figure itself. So here he is. Here's a look at the figure. It looks just like it stepped out of the animated series, if it was ever on the animated series. So I really love the concept of this line, giving us figures that, in that animated style. Man, this is really nice. Now, articulation is going to be limited, guys. This is very much a sculpt over articulation line. The joints are pretty tight. I'm really hesitant to honestly move them around too much just because they're so tight. I don't want to snap this guy. But as you see, he's got the knee articulation, a little bit of foot articulation there, no ab articulation at all. Elbow, wrist articulation. You can, of course, take the hand out. Some shoulder articulation. The neck moves, from side to side, doesn't move up at all. So very limited articulation, but that's to be expected with this line. These figures were never heavily articulated because they focused more on the sculpt, making them look like the animated figures more than making them highly articulated, which I'm fine with because they look great. Now, how does he stand? That's one problem with all of these figures, is they don't stand very well, but he stands really nicely, actually. He stands pretty good. There you go. I was able to stand him up really easily. So that's good. It doesn't come with a stand. When these figures started coming out, the original Batman the Animated Series line from DC Direct, or it might have been DC Collectibles at that point, they all came with stands. The stands were kind of weird. I really liked the concept art they used for the base, but the plastic stands themselves were awkward and they took up a lot of space. So yeah, but I would like some sort of stand for these figures because they do fall over easily, but they do not have any pegs on the, well, this one doesn't have any pegs at the bottom of his shoe to even put him in a stand, but I do use these Kaiser stands, which you've probably seen in my other reviews, so I'll be fine. Anyways, back to the figure itself. I think it looks awesome. Very animated look for the Batman Who Laughs. It's, you know, a minimalistic design. That's because that's how the Batman figures are. So he looks great. I like the colors they used. The laugh, the smile is fantastic. The spiky mask thing over his eyes. It looks like a Nosferatu classic vampire looking Batman. I love the gangly nature of this figure. So he looks fantastic. All right, so up next, let's put him next to some other animated Batman figures to give you a size comparison and how he looks with some other figures. All right, so there's the Batman Who Laughs next to a few other animated figures. We got Mr. Freeze, the redesigned Batman, then Harvey Bullock over here. So there he is next to these figures. Looks great. Looks in scale with these figures. He's a little bit taller than Batman, as he should be. He's a little taller and ganglier, but they look great together, in my opinion. As you can see, the chain slides off pretty easily. But yeah, I think these are. It looks fantastic. It looks just like it should have been in an episode of Batman the Animated Series. So really happy with this, how it turned out. Man, my Batman there is all scuffed up. One thing I will say about these animated figures, I love them. They are awesome figures. They feel like a premium figure when you're holding them. You can just tell that they are just, you know, really nicely done figures. A couple of things, they are hard to stand. If you guys are thinking about getting some of the older figures, which are quite expensive now, but like, look at this Batman. He's so hard to stand up without a stand. And also, they get scuffed up pretty easily. I will say, I have them in some good plastic, museum grade packaging now. I got from Amazon. Forgot the name of it. It's the type of plastic you use to store photos. I have them in that, so it's been protecting them better. Blah. But yeah, these have been very easy to scuff up, so just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, there he is. So he looks great next to the other figures. I'll do more pictures on my Instagram, of course, with some other animated figures. Final thoughts. If you're a fan of this line, you will love this figure. If you're a fan of this look, I mean, you know, obviously, I would highly recommend him. If you're just getting into this line, I will warn you that the older figures are really pricey now to get on the third market. I am really hoping McFarlane does a re-release of these animated figures. I think there's an anniversary coming up soon for Batman the Animated Series, perhaps. So I could totally see that happening. But nevertheless, I would still highly recommend these figures if you are a fan of the animated style. So there you go. There is my review of the new Batman Who Laughs from DC Direct via McFarlane Toys. Really excited to have this figure. I got this guy off Amazon. He's also available, I think, on Big Bad Toy Store and wherever animated or DC figures are sold. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.